I'm going to make this creator thing work. I don't know how I'm going to make it work.
How did you get into content creation on your visa, dude?
Yeah, dude. So, but I'm going to make money off of this. The first thing that international students can use is...
So, other than that, do you have any other hacks?
We've helped like lots of students save lots of money.
You said 800 on groceries. This is so much help that I wish I'd gotten before.
I'm moving back to Dubai. I'm leaving the US. I'm not going to apply to jobs anymore.
Alright everyone, welcome to the third episode of the Perspective Lab. Today, I'm joined by Ansh Mundra, entrepreneur, content creator, and co-founder of Rome. Thank you so much for doing this, Ansh. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanmay.
So Ansh, before we get into anything, who are you?
Yeah, my name is Ansh Mundra. I'm 23 years old. I graduated from New York University with my bachelor's in economics and data science, May of 2024. Since then, I've been on my OPT, so I've been on my F1-Visa since I came to the US when I was 18. On my OPT, I was building a startup called Rome. It's a one-stop shop solution for international student services in the US as co-founder and chief growth officer. I was primarily responsible for distributing our product and getting our name out there. Other than that, I am a Formula One fan. I love reading fantasy and science fiction books. And I love going to the gym.
I have only one interest right now. Who is your Formula One? Which team are you supporting?
So I still am a Red Bull fan, and I'm a Max Verstappen fan specifically because I love his champion mentality, so to speak. But I just love the sport for its essence and its technicalities. But I would say I'm a Max fan.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely not a Max fan.
No?
And this was a pleasure having you over here. But okay, let's get back into it, dude. It's amazing that how old are you?
23.
23. You've graduated from NYU with a bachelor's. You've done your startup. You're a content creator and you're 23. It's amazing. Like, I'm 26 turning 27 and I just look at you. I'm like, okay, that is inspiration. We need to learn. So Ansh, I want to begin with the fact that there are students who get their admits in India. So when they get their admit and when they want to come to the US, what all does Rome help in?
Right. So we thought of Rome and we still think of Rome as an ecosystem where we help you with like before you start college and before you even move to the US and after you move to the US. The entire idea behind Rome is it's a marketplace. So think of us as Amazon, but for international student services. And the reason for that is because when my co-founders and I, when we moved to the US, everything that we needed to start our life in the US was scattered. And we had to do a lot of research ourselves, spend a lot of time and stress figuring everything out, talk to a lot of people, got the wrong advice. And so we realized there's a clear gap in the market, and that's how the Rome marketplace was born. So to answer your question, the first thing that international students or incoming international students can use is our F1-Visa interview chatbot, which is called Sonia. And that's the world's first AI-powered F1-Visa interview chatbot, which essentially simulates a conversation with a F1-Visa interview officer and gives you feedback based on how you perform after you upload your I-20 and answer a few questions. So you're far more prepared for your F1-Visa interview instead of spending like lakhs of rupees on these study abroad counselors who might charge you for a one-on-one session and might not even know what they're doing. So this chatbot helps with that. And then after that, the marketplace, what we really try to push to people and what we really try to make people aware of is that you should get your bank account set up before you move to the US. So you don't have to go to Chase or go to Bank of America and get it set up because it's a bit overwhelming. That's what I had to do. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a bank account until like a week after I moved here. And so ideally you want your debit card set up, you want your credit card set up so you can spend as soon as you land in the US and you're not running on cash, because that's what I was doing because my dad just gave me a little bit of cash. He's like, figure it out.
Right.
So we push our partners, which is like Adro and Zoll, which help you get set up with bank account and credit card before you move here. Then a big saving point is, and this is where our lingo comes in, thousands of dollars. People are like, how are you helping us save thousands of dollars? And that's through health insurance. So I'll give you an example. When I was at NYU, they charged us $4,500 mandatory for our health insurance. And it was just put on our bill. And you're just like, you check it and you're like, why is there a $4,500 charge? And we look more into it and then you realize that you can waive this health insurance. And certain universities allow it. So it's not mandatory, but They put it on you and they don't really ask you about it.
Okay.
And you can waive this health insurance with third-party health insurance providers like ISO or Kimber Health, and there's a few others as well. And so we've partnered up with them as well to help you save those thousands of dollars. So for example, I got an ISO plan at like $1,000 a year, which compared to NYU was $3,500 in savings. And so over time, that's like about 10 grand over like 3-4 years. So you can really save a lot of money. That's equivalent to like 8 to 10 round trips to India or to Delhi from NYC.
That's a nice way to put it.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that's another way we help you save. And the third way is like through your SIM cards. Like you've probably heard of T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon.
Right.
Their basic plans start at like $40, $45, $50 a month. And a lot of people get roped into a lot of family plans, which have you paying more. But there's cheaper alternatives out there, like US Mobile, Campus Sims, and Visible by Verizon.
Right.
So I was on Campus Sims is essentially Mint Mobile, the brand that Ryan Reynolds owns.
Yeah.
I was on Mint Mobile when I came here, and it was like $20 a month for the year. And as opposed to like T-Mobile, their cheapest plan is like $40 a month. So you can do the math. You're saving like $240 to even up to like $360 in some cases just on your SIM plan for similar service. You just need data, right? You just need mobile data, and these services do provide that. So the entire idea is that all of these things exist. But looking at your face right now, you're probably realizing, oh, I didn't even know about this, or my friends didn't know about this, or nobody told me about this.
Yeah, right. I didn't.
Exactly. And that's not okay. That's not, people should be saving money, especially because so many people come to the US, they're very budget conscious. You know, they're on student loans, or they're not earning any income until like year 1 or year 2 of their study abroad journey in the US. So money is tight. So we help them save with all of these essentials so they can live their life as they please to.
And I mean, if they're saving money, how much are you charging them?
So we're not charging them anything. So the entire...
It's all for free?
Yeah, so the Rome marketplace is free. Anybody can use it. Like anybody can make an account.
Okay.
And the way we make money is we're just an affiliate marketplace.
Okay.
So every time somebody signs up through our link, we get paid a little bit.
Okay, so you're really helping people.
Yeah, no, we're definitely helping people. Like one of the services that we started, and I initiated this, was a concierge call. So we offer a free 15-minute concierge call, which is a fancy way of saying we'll get on call with you and we'll answer any questions you have about helping you get set up with your essentials from your bank account, SIM card, credit card, and health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
We do that for free, and all we ask you to do, and if you don't want to, you don't need to. All we ask you to do is just use our links, because that's the way to support us. And everything is free, and yeah, we've helped so many students, not just through these calls, but through our content, through our WhatsApp communities, through our marketplace. I think we've helped like lots of students save lots of money. I don't know how much exactly, but definitely made a good impact.
I mean, it sounds like when I came to the US, I had none, other than the SIM card that NYU, even I graduated from NYU, other than the SIM card that you get from NYU saying campus SIMs, which was not even delivered to me in time.
Really?
They said that you have to order it like a month in advance.
Okay.
And I didn't get it. So I came here with my SIM card from India with on whatever roaming and everything for a week. Mm-hmm. And that costs a lot. Right. And then other than that, the bank account, and since I've already graduated from NYU, if you were there at the right time, I would not have paid that much in insurance.
Right.
So, I mean, I wish you had come sooner, because I graduated 2 years back, and I wish... How long have you been there?
At Rome?
No. I mean, how long has Rome been there?
A year and 5 months.
Ah, damn it. I wish it was there before.
It's about time.
So, other than that, do you have any other hacks? Like, as a student, I'm here, I've already landed, and I've saved money with student health insurance, campus SIMs, I have saved God knows how many things. Right. Like, what else?
So one of the main things I tell people is get your credit score up as fast as possible. And for those who don't know what a credit score is, it's essentially a 3-digit score that tells like credit agencies and banks and stuff how reliable of a credit borrower you are, like how likely you are to pay off your credit in case you borrow with that particular institution. And it ranges from 300 to 850. 300 being really bad and 850 being perfect.
Okay.
Usually people have a score of like, if you have like a 750, 800, like you're doing pretty good. The reason this is important is because if you want to get a car loan, or if you want to get a house loan, or you want to just get a personal loan, your interest rate is going to vary based on your credit score. And the kind of credit cards also you can get will vary based on how good your credit score is. Mm-hmm. So I would say people should get a credit card without a social security number. So another thing is you can't really get the good credit cards like the Amex Gold or Chase Sapphire Preferred or Discover student card without a social security number.
Okay.
And so if you get a credit card without a social security number, once you do end up getting a social security number, your credit payments will be backdated. So your credit score is going to be much higher as opposed to if you applied for a credit card only after getting a social security number.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things we pitch as well, is one of our partners, Adro, they offer a credit card without a social security number.
Right.
And they help you backdate those payments. So as soon as you get your SSN, your credit score is like already much higher relative to if you hadn't got a credit card with them. And even if you don't want to get a credit card without an SSN, like if you're already in the US right now, I would still say you should open a credit card and obviously use it responsibly. You know, just because you have a credit card doesn't mean you have unlimited money, just doesn't mean it's free money.
Use it like a debit card.
Use it like a debit card, right? Put all of your normal expenses on it and pay it off on time and set up automatic payment. Keep your expenses, keep your credit utilization below 30%. That's what they recommend. 30% of your total utilization that you're allowed. And this will really help. This will set you up for success. And I'll give you a specific example. Like, because I had a good credit score, I was able to apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And the Chase Sapphire Preferred has a welcome bonus of like 60,000 or 70,000 points if you spend a certain amount in a certain time period.
Okay.
I was able to use those points after I got them to get a free flight ticket to India. And
with those points.
Just with those points. And I had leftover to pay for half of my ticket elsewhere as well. And you can this is like a whole game that people play in the US.
Right.
And this is something I learned over time. It's
a credit economy.
Exactly, right? It's just like credit card smurfing, I think they call it. I don't know what exactly it's called, but people get credit cards, use the welcome bonuses, get the points, get their travel bonuses, whatever. Either close the credit card, or if it's free credit card, just let it be because it's not affecting you. And this is what I did as well. And there's downsides to this because credit cards they do sort of incite overspending without you realizing it, because you look at your credit card statement, you're like, yeah, how did this $400 bill come? Like, how did this happen? But if you have a debit card, that probably won't happen because you're actually spending from money that you have. So it's definitely a bit risky is what I've realized. Before I used to be like, no, credit cards are amazing. You know, everybody should have a credit card. I still think everybody should have a credit card, but you have to be very responsible and you need to be financially wise if you choose to get one, especially if you choose to get multiple ones.
I mean, you say all of this about credit cards, but I think the one thing that people are not understanding is the length, like the duration which you have this credit card.
Right.
You have to build up the credit score.
Yeah.
You can't land here and just expect a perfect credit score.
Definitely not.
I had a friend who was going to buy a car and he had no credit card for the 2 years he was in college. He goes to the dealership and they charge him a 14% interest rate for a car.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, if you had just listened to everyone else.
Yeah.
This is commonly available knowledge. You land here, get your social, or like you said, you can do it without that.
Yeah.
Just like 14% really drops to like 6-7%.
Yeah.
And even lower if you have a better score.
Yeah, definitely. I think this really speaks to how some people don't take action even though they know this knowledge.
Yeah.
And even I have friends, I'm just like, bro, why haven't you gotten a good credit card yet? What are you doing? And after so much prodding, like they got it finally.
Right.
And only after years do they realize, but they also don't realize they're setting themselves back. And they're not setting themselves up for success. And in the US, you need to do these things if you want to be successful.
Right.
So if you have this knowledge, like, you know, really do your own research. It's never been easier to do research. Use Perplexity, use ChatGPT, use Google. Just don't rely on other people also, I would say. Like, obviously ask for help and stuff, but do primary research instead of relying on other people, because then you'll actually find out what the truth is. And I think this applies to anything in life.
Okay. That's a very fair thing to have said.
Yeah.
So what else? I think when I landed here, the biggest problem that I was just completely scared by was taxes.
Right.
I mean, I was 21 years old. Right. In India, like, you file your taxes, like, so you already have a guy.
Right.
Your family has a guy who does it.
Right.
I landed here, I'm told, even if you didn't make a single dollar this year, you have to file your taxes. Mm-hmm. What do I do now?
Yeah, so that was something that I was quite perplexed by as well. And yes, this is true. Even if you don't earn a single dollar and you've spent a day in the United States, you have to file something known as the Form 8843. And yeah,
it's amazing that you remember that
I
number,
know, dude, because I've made so much content about this. It's like on the back of my hand now. Form 8843, it's like a substantial presence test, which lets the IRS know that, hey, yeah, I was just in the country. Okay. And the reason this is important is because it's a small caveat. It's like for the first 5 years of you being an F1 student, you don't have to pay FICA taxes.
Right.
You don't have to pay social security taxes. So that's another thing that I would like to tell people is like, if your employer is charging you FICA taxes and Medicare taxes, they owe you that money back.
Right.
And you're entitled to that money. So that's something you should be on top of. And the second thing is, don't file Form 1040. Don't file Form 1040. File Form 1040 NR. 1040 is for residents. 1040 NR is for non-residents. Hence the NR. I made the mistake of filing.
I did too, man. I did too.
And don't use TurboTax. Don't use TurboTax.
It's not meant for anyone on OPT, right?
Exactly. It's not meant for F1 students, especially for F1 students within the first 5 years of them coming to the US. Use services like SprintTax. And I recently met somebody at this conference I went to. They started this new thing called SkyTax, which is like an alternative to SprintTax. And it's actually pretty cool because they do it for way cheaper. So I'm not sponsored or anything. I just want people to know. SkyTax, SprintTax, don't use TurboTax. The tax deadline is April 15th every year. And yeah, I think you get a month or two of extension, but don't use the extension. And another thing is, if you're using softwares like SprintTax, you still need to physically file your taxes and mail your taxes to the IRS. You can't just fill out your forms on SprintTax and okay, done, go to sleep. No, you have to actually mail them to the IRS. Otherwise, they'll never receive it.
What else, dude? I feel like there is so much I wanted to know about this, and I wish you had come to me at the right time.
Yeah.
I just came across your content like 6 months back when I had already graduated. I wish you had come sooner in my life, but you can obviously help more people.
Yeah.
So what else? Are there more hacks? Like I can keep asking you this question again and again.
Yeah, definitely. So there are also state-specific hacks. So if you live in New York State, which we do, and you're earning income between $0 and $39,250, something around that.
You have a really good memory, dude.
Thank you, dude. I've done a lot of research. I think they changed it from like $37,650 to $39,250. But basically, if you're earning less than $40,000 and you're between the ages of 21 and 64 and you live in New York State, then you're eligible for free health insurance. I was on free health insurance for the last year.
What?
Yes. And this free health insurance, obviously, is not nothing amazing, but you do get $0 dental. You get like a $25 urgent care copay, something like that. And the cool thing about this is if you go to the gym, then you get I think $300 or $400 gym reimbursement. There's obviously caveats to that. Like you have to go to the gym 50 times in 6 months.
Right.
Your gym needs to fill out a form. You need to fill out a form. You need to submit it to them. I was going to do that. I got too lazy. I didn't do it. So I didn't get my reimbursement because I did end up going to the gym that many times. But another thing is that you get an over-the-counter grocery card, which is a fancy way of just saying like a preloaded card you can use at like CVS or Walmart to buy essentials. Because the entire idea is that the New York State wants to support low-income individuals, and that's why they're giving this $400 OTC card. Now, again, there's a caveat to this. This $400 is split amongst 4 quarters. So every quarter you get $100. And you can use that on groceries and vitamins and like essential items for yourself.
You're really wise about your money. Like,
yeah, but you know what's the funny thing? What's the funny thing? I was on this health insurance plan, but I never ended up using this OTC card. And that was just a dumb thing by me. So yeah, I might know all of these things, but do I apply them? Maybe not.
But it's still crazy. Like, I think that when you land here, you're like, I have it figured out. I know this, I know that. And then you come across stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like $100, sure, it's not a lot. It can't get you by like more than like
But dude, it's
3
like a
weeks.
week's worth of groceries. And
Easily.
it does help.
It can be even more.
Even more, dude. Even more. Yeah, for sure. So I think it's really useful. So the thing about this card is that it might not be active because of certain policy changes, because the government might be like stripping away Medicaid for a lot of people.
Okay.
But as far as I know, it is active.
Yeah.
And you can get this card through companies like Kimber Health. Kimber Health is like ISO. They're also a third-party health insurance provider. And they provide this, it's called the Essential Plan. So just search up Essential Plan, New York State, ISO or Kimber Health, and you'll be able to get it.
That's
and
crazy.
This is really useful for master's students because, like I said earlier, you have to be between the ages of 21 and 64. So if you're a master's student at NYU, Columbia, Pace, Fordham, whatever, like, dude, $400 free groceries for the year, $300 gym reimbursement, you get free health insurance. You can definitely get this. And the cool thing about this, and this is what people don't understand, is you can be on 2 health insurance plans at once.
Really?
Yes, you can be. There's no rule saying you can't.
But what's the point of that?
So you get the $400, all of this, and you get your university's health insurance plan. The problem is universities don't allow you to waive their health insurance plan with the essential plan.
Okay.
Earlier they did, but now they don't. So you will have to get your university plan or get the university plan waived through a third-party health insurance plan.
Okay.
And as a New York State resident, if you meet all of these criteria, you can get the essential plan as well. So you can be on 2 health insurance plans for more protection.
Wow, man. This is so much help that I wish I'd gotten before.
Yeah,
And it's like, I think it's money saved is money earned.
definitely.
And this adds up. Like, just in 2 years, you saved 800 on groceries. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, just groceries.
Just groceries. I don't know if you can get it consecutively, but I do know you can get it for 1 year. Yeah,
$1 is also good.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Ansh. I've landed in the US.
yeah,
I want to make friends. I want to assimilate into the society.
yeah.
India and a lot of other countries are different from the US. Tell me about your experience coming to the US. Tell me how you've tackled all of these things.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I would say what happens to a lot of Indian kids, whether they come from India or the Middle East, we tend to group up and we tend to be amongst other Indian kids. This is something that definitely happened to me. Just for some context, I came in 2021 January. So this was peak COVID.
Right.
The NYC you know right now and NYC then was like completely different, and it was also super cold. So we couldn't really assemble in common places at NYU because the only thing that was open was Lipton Hall. And everything else, like our dorms and everything, you couldn't even go into each other's rooms. So it was pretty strict. So it was pretty hard to make friends. So I was really lucky because I had a very social roommate. And so he introduced me to a lot of other Indian kids. And he was also Indian from Mumbai. So I ended up getting into like an Indian group, an Indian circle. And that was fun at first because, you know, you feel like, oh, these people understand me. I'm in like this strange land and they get me and they get my food and they get my lingo and all of that. But over time, it can get toxic, especially if people start dating each other.
I sense some inside story.
Yeah. It can get a little toxic, and also the groupism mentality seeps into you, and you are sort of almost prevented of being your own individual. And I've seen that happen to a lot of people, which is really sad to see because a lot of kids, like, they enter college and they exit college as the same person. And I'm just like, where is the growth?
Yeah.
You know, you look the same, you talk the same, you speak the same, you hang out with the same people, and it's very frustrating to see because I'm like, there's a lot of lost potential. But anyway, so I would say you should try your best to make friends with non-Indians. You know, have a balance for sure, but try to make friends with Americans, especially because you're going to be living here. They live a different way. They have different slang. They have different cultures.
Yeah.
They follow different sports. You don't have to watch the NFL. Like, I never watched the NFL, never watched MLB, like baseball. But still, like, do things with them. Go on trips with them.
Right.
And I would say a big connection point is joining clubs on campus, especially clubs that interest you. And even if they don't interest you, just go for a general meeting and just talk to people there. I was like trying to be a consultant back then, back at NYU.
Okay.
So I was part of like 3 consulting clubs, my sophomore and junior year. And that gave me not just like real world experience because we were actually working with clients, but also it exposed me to other smart individuals at NYU, which was important for me because it was important for me to see what other people are like. So other than that, if you are in like a state school or like if you're not doing a master's, just doing your undergrad, explore Greek life. Like try to join a fraternity or sorority, at least rush a fraternity or sorority. Rushing is just like attending their events at the start of the semester.
Okay.
I was part of Greek life for 2.5 years at NYU.
Okay.
I was a brother of Sigma Phi Epsilon. I still am a brother of Sigma Phi Epsilon. And I say this with a lot of pride because it gave me a lot. It taught me a lot. It really put me out of the Indian circle and put me in that American circle. So that was my way of doing that, of joining Greek life at NYU, which is not something very common.
Right.
Because if you want to party, that's why you join Greek life usually.
Right.
But in NYC, you know, you can just go to a bar or go to a club or, you know, there's nightlife everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is more like tailored towards like people going to like Ohio State or Michigan State where there's like nothing around and you need to find community. Greek life can be a great way of doing that. And it also really pushes you. So one thing about Greek life is that a lot of frats, they sledge, they
What is sledge?
like, what is it called? They haze. Like they make you do all kinds of weird shit.
It's like the Indian version of ragging. Right?
Yeah, basically, right?
Okay.
Basically. So My fraternity was a bit low on that, which I liked, because a lot of these frats, they will make you lose your self-respect just so that you can earn their respect, which I didn't like.
Okay.
They make you do like debaucherous stuff.
Mhm.
Like I've heard some crazy stories, man. So, but still, it's worth it, because sometimes you learn a lot, and the camaraderie you form with your group of brothers that you're doing this with to join the fraternity is important, and it's cool, I think. So explore Greek life, join clubs, talk to a lot of non-Indian folks, and talk to a lot of American folks, talk to other international students as well. If you go to school like NYU, you're quite privileged because there's a lot of international students out there from Russia, China, XYZ. Talk to them. And I wish I did this more. Just explore what their culture is like. And some of them can be a bit hard to talk to, and there'll be like a bit of a language barrier.
Right.
But there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. Like it's worth exploring.
I mean, the entire point of you coming to the US
Exactly.
is to meet other people.
Exactly.
If you wanted to start, if you came with the sole purpose of earning money and studying, sure, by all means, you have your purpose sorted. But if you came with something more, like, I know what you're saying. You're not only saying that you have to just talk to non-Indians. You're saying there's a balance. You can't just be in your bubble. You can't be in your comfort zone.
Exactly.
And that really helps you, because, like, for me also, when I came here, there was a French guy. He's become one of my closest friends, and he is so much fun to hang out with.
Right.
I'm sure he's watching this podcast and he's like smirking, and he's like, oh, he talked about me. What's up? But yeah, I think like it really builds you up. Like the way you said that when you come out from college, if you're the same person, it's a little bit of a waste.
It really is.
Especially over here, paying those dollars, you better get something out of it.
Yeah, and another thing is like, I don't think a lot of people talk about, but your accent. So I don't know if you've experienced this, Tanmay, but like, I think a lot of Americans have like subtle racism when you speak a certain way. And I'm not asking people to change their accent, speak how you speak. But also, when you speak to Americans, like, again, you don't have to change your accent, but I don't know, like, they have to get used to how you speak, and you also have to get used to how they speak. And you will end up incorporating their slang. And I think that you can use that to your advantage. Like in front of your Indian friends, you don't have to use American slang. But in front of your American friends, if you do, I just think it just helps with bonding purposes.
Right.
And who knows, you might also end up teaching them a thing or two. So also, it helps you improve your English. Articulation is so important. And Americans really value confidence.
Absolutely.
You can't just be somebody who's like, hunched up. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm shy. I'm introverted. Okay, fine. But you still have to speak up. You still have to advocate for yourself. And that's something I learned over time. Because I was that introverted kid.
Yeah.
And in America, like I said, like people really value that self-confidence and the ability to stand up for yourself when nobody else is. And that's an extremely valuable skill. And another thing I want to say is that don't just look at your university years, undergrad or master's or PhD, as something you need to finish so you can complete your education or something you need to do to get a job. No, look at it as like a personality development. Man, you are so privileged if you're at the age of 18, 21, even 25, if you land in a city like New York, Boston, LA, and you get to live your youth in America and these big cities that people only dream of.
Yeah.
Use it as personality development. Try different things. Work on your looks. Work on your intellectual, like your critical thinking skills. Work on your body. Work on everything. Like, it's really a chance for you to explore yourself. And another thing I want to say is that take your writing classes seriously, especially as an undergraduate student.
Writing classes, what are they?
So at NYU, I took like 4 or 5 compulsory writing classes.
Okay.
Text and ideas, cultures and context, expressive cultures, and first year seminar, and writing the essay. So 5, yeah. And I remember and value and treasure my writing classes more than any of my econ and data science classes.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because it really taught me how to think. It taught me how to write. And especially right now, I think people don't know how to write. And especially with ChatGPT, everybody and their moms, they use ChatGPT. And rightfully so, right? It boosts efficiency, maximizes productivity, whatever. But you still need to know how to write, man. Anybody with a brain and anybody who's used ChatGPT can tell if you've used ChatGPT to write, even if the models get better. And if you don't know how to use it, like you're cooked. So learn how to write, learn how to think for yourself, and pay attention to your writing classes. Don't just be like, oh, it's a gen ed, like I'm not going to take it seriously, it's just a GPA booster, and like, what is this, why do I have to take a writing class, I'm a computer science major. Dude, it's going to enrich your personality so much.
Right.
Like one of my classes was Text and Ideas. It was on migration and displacement. We talked a lot about third culture kids and what it's like being a third culture kid. I'm a third culture kid because I was born in India, grew up in the Middle East, and now moved to New York. And that shaped me so much. Writing those essays and understanding that there are other people like me helped me. Like, I was like, oh wow, like I'm not alone in this feeling of being displaced and lost and not knowing where to belong and not knowing how to answer the question, where are you from? Because I'm from multiple places. So those classes I will really like carry with me. Another class I took at NYU was called Global Hip Hop.
Global hip hop.
And dude, it was like about the history of hip hop. And our professor, he was like pretty versed with the hip hop culture. He grew up in Queens in the 90s, and he brought in hip hop artists. This guy was like rapping in Chinese and English, and he brought in like other people on Zoom as well. And it was so fascinating. It was such a chill class too. It was so fascinating. And I'm like, dude, I remember that. Not data structures, not FML, like not fundamentals of machine learning.
Right.
Like obviously, I remember it, but to write is to think. And if you want to be a great thinker right now, you need to be able to write. And I think great thinkers are in rare supply. So if you can just think and you can articulate your thoughts, you will already stand out, because not a lot of people can do that.
No, what you say is very, very, like, it's a stark difference that I've seen in the US and India. Like, just knowing your craft is good in India. You don't need to know how to communicate as well. It's changing. Obviously, it's becoming way better.
Right.
But over here, this is like, I feel the biggest marketing ground in the world. Like, you need to know how to talk. If you don't, you are cooked. The way you said it, I can be sure there are exceptions, but we don't talk about exceptions. We talk about the general things. If you go for a job interview, what they're trying to figure out is, sure, you know your tech or you know whatever you're doing, but how are you to work with? How are you, like, that can completely change. In fact, I found out this story recently that in some bar in New York, there was a managing director of some hedge fund or something like that. He's sitting in one corner and like on the bar counter, and the other guy's behind him, and he just mentioned something technical. The MD turns behind and he's like, what did you say? And they start talking. The next day, the guy is messaged by the MD because they exchange numbers and whatnot. He messages him saying, dude, we're looking for exactly a person like you as our head of AI. And he's like, can you come over today for an interview? That dude's like, dude, this is too soon. I'm not even prepared. He's like, no, just come over. And granted, that dude was very smart. He's like, come over. They interviewed him for one day. Technical stuff, they did get into it, but not too deep. But they really got into how he is as a person.
Right.
He's hired, he's working there. And this is how the US works.
Right.
Sure, I'm saying these things can happen in India. It's changing, it's evolving. But over here, if you can't talk, you're done.
Absolutely.
One more thing. You said something about accents. And I don't think it's subtle racism. For me, the difference comes, we've grown up looking at, like, watching Hollywood movies. So we're very accustomed to the American accent. We land over here, they don't watch Bollywood movies. Like, the only exposure we've had to the US in terms of how they speak is Hollywood.
Right.
And they have no exposure to Bollywood. So it becomes difficult for them to understand us. Now, whether you choose to put on a fake accent and get ridiculed by your friends, that's totally your decision. I have personally put on a fake accent to talk to them, and it helps me. But I think what eventually really matters is how you speak and how clear you are.
Yeah.
If you don't speak clearly, it doesn't make a difference. Whether you speak with an American accent, whether you speak with an Indian, or I don't know, Arabic accent. You just need to speak clearly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say it's very tricky, because you want to tell people don't change your accent, definitely. Like, because then you're sacrificing yourself too, right? Like, it's a bit of a struggle. I don't know.
I think for me, it just fascinates me. Like, I went to the UK once and I was speaking in a British accent just to try it out. I was speaking in a Scottish accent. For me, it's just fun learning these accents.
Me too.
It's not where I'm just like, I want to be one of them. It's just like a achievement in my head that I can speak this way.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm looking at them or worshipping them or looking down on them.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I think it helps with assimilation.
it definitely
And it's a
does.
skill, right?
It
Like,
is.
if you can speak in an American accent, you might get along better with like a white banker as opposed to somebody who cannot.
There
And
was
that's-
a study that came out that, I don't know, I get these Instagram ads which say that there's like a 17 or a 20% chance of a promotion if you can speak with an accent in the US.
Interesting.
I don't know the statistics and the verification and all of that. It's just an ad that comes. But I do think there's some truth to it.
Yeah. I just think people like to be associated with people who are like them.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you can speak in that kind of accent, you know, you're probably more likely to be liked by them.
Yeah.
But then again, like, do I have to change myself for that? Probably not. But then, like you said, it's all about like speaking clearly and making sure you're enunciating your words, you're articulate enough.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you're fine in any accent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just speak clearly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Ansh. Let's get into the stereotypes.
Yeah.
Indian students are notorious, or Indian people over here are known to be smelly.
Hmm.
What do you think of that? Is it true?
So I've personally not encountered that so much.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I have encountered a few instances of that,
Right.
which is like, so the stereotype is, I guess, I don't know how to say it. It's a bit generalized for sure.
Right.
And there are definitely people who are smelly and they need to work on their hygiene. And that's a truth. But I don't think everybody's like that. And especially like if you're at an undergrad level, I think people are a bit more well off at an undergrad level.
Mm-hmm.
So they know how to take care of themselves
Right.
more so than at a master's level.
Okay.
Um,
Why do you see that difference? I did my master's here, by the way.
right. No, I know. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot more. I don't know if this is true statistically, but there's a lot more master's kids coming to the US. I don't know if this is true, but a lot of master's kids also take out student loans and they're like on their own as
Right.
opposed to like undergrad kids.
Right. It's
'Cause-
cheaper to do it over here. Like,
Right.
it's a 2-year degree versus a 4-year degree.
Exactly,
I
right?
think that's the main
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. I would just urge every international student just take care of their hygiene because it just speaks. You just like your body is a reflection and the way you dress is a reflection of how you think and how you operate. And so it's important to present yourself in such a manner that you would want to be liked and you would want to be included in a group conversation. Because if somebody can like sense that, okay, this guy doesn't take care of his personal hygiene, you're probably not going to be included in a lot of things. And
Exactly.
that might just be in a job too. Like if you're doing like a in-person interview and you're smelling across the room and like you're smelling across the table, dude, it doesn't matter how like great you are technically. Like they're probably not going to hire you.
You really need to be that good for them to hire you then.
Yeah, you have to be
It's
like
really
excellent.
like a whiz.
Yeah, exactly. Like no, we'll take,
get over it.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll get over it. We'll give him the perfume. You know, we'll give him the sanitary products or whatever. But yeah, I guess the stereotype exists for a reason. There are people like that. So, what can you do
I
about
mean, what happens is that they're coming to the US. Like, you are an outsider.
Yeah.
You are not an American and you are not them.
it?
So one Indian messes up, it falls on all of us. So I think it's just like, it's a stereotype. I have seen instances of it being true and not true.
Yeah.
It's a stereotype that exists.
Yeah.
You're representing all of us as an Indian here. If I mess up in any way, you also get a bad rep,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So we're representing our country and we have to do it the best way we can.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody should look at you and go like, you're a great representation of your country.
Exactly.
And that's like the biggest compliment you can receive because you're not just, like you said, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing like 1.5 billion people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very true.
Yeah.
All right, Ansh. The reason I got the opportunity to talk to you. So this is an interesting story for me to tell everyone. I was walking near the East River and I was seeing some person with you as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there were two of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have seen that guy somewhere.
Right.
I walked past him. I was like, I don't know. I just felt like there's something about you. And then I think we switched directions or something. I came back and I just stopped. I was like, dude, have I seen you somewhere? And you're like, yeah, you might have. And I'm like, are you on Instagram? Do you do something? And then you told me and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this guy. So you are a content creator. That's how I came across you. And what's the journey been like?
Dude, it's been crazy. First of all, that interaction, I feel like it's crazy for that to even happen.
It's a celebrity moment.
Bro, it really is. And also, I just feel like that happens in New York, bro. You just meet like talented people on like just running, and you're just like, you go work out with them and you do a podcast with them. I think it's pretty cool. So definitely going to miss that about the city. But yeah, for me as a creator, it was pretty funny because the reason I started creating was purely for creative expression. I was applying to jobs November of 2023, October, November 2023, my senior year. I was applying for like consulting and finance related positions. And I wasn't doing a great job at it. I did give a few interviews, but nothing worked out. And it was like a pretty terrible moment, honestly. Terrible few months for me. Because I'm like, bro, like, what am I doing this for? And I struggled a lot with meaning back then. And I guess I sometimes still do. But I'm like, dude, I get a job. What next? Okay, I get another promotion. What next? Okay, at 30, I'm like the VP of something. What next?
Right.
I keep climbing this ladder. But what is at the end of it for me? And I just I didn't find it to be very fulfilling. And so I was just walking down University Place one day, and I just told myself, I'm going to make a reel today. And this had been like building up for me because I made YouTube videos in like 2023 January. I made a couple vlogs. I went to Puerto Rico for my spring break, vlogged that, edited that. So like that want and desire to share and make videos has always been in me because I also used to make videos as a 10-year-old kid. So I'm like, I see a big opportunity in short form content. And I don't think a lot of international students were doing it then. And I still don't think a lot of international students are doing it now or right. Like they're not doing it right. And I'm like, dude, why don't I like just give it a shot? And I didn't have any expectations of it. Like my first reel is literally just me talking to myself about how, I can't start content because I'm too busy and I'm like, so many people know me. What will people think about me? And then I was like telling myself, like, it doesn't matter what people think of you. The only thing that matters is how you think of yourself. And the reason you don't want to create content is because you subconsciously judge yourself. And that's why a lot of people don't create content. It's because they subconsciously think it's cringe. And even though they think it's cool, they also think it's cringe, which is like it's like very weird. So that was my first reel. I kept making videos. And then around like the 6th or 7th video, I made like a day in my life at NYU. And that went viral. And that got me like my first like few hundred followers. And then eventually like 2,000 followers. And then I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like people actually want to talk to me and people know me. And I got recognized at NYU. And I'm like, this is crazy, bro. And so since then, I was hell-bent. I was like, I'm going to make this creator thing work. I don't know how I'm going to make it work, but I'm going to make money off of this. I'm going to live on this. And I'm not going to apply to jobs anymore. And I told my parents that. And my parents were at like a wedding in Jaipur or something. I told my dad, he's like, how's job applications going? I was like, I haven't applied to a job in 4 weeks. He's like, why? I was like, yeah, I'm a content creator now. And I'm just going to do this full time and I'm going to do this for a living. My dad's like, that's incredibly disappointing. And I'll always remember that. But I think, if you want to be a content creator, you have to show your desi parents that you're willing to do what it takes, which is like create every day and like be obsessed with it. That's what I had to show my parents. And they also obviously rely on results and views, like my followers and views. And so once they started to see that going up, they were like a lot more supportive. And ever since then, they've been super supportive of my journey, whether it be on stocks or Rome. So yeah, it was purely creative expression. And then over time, I learned what it means to have a personal brand for your social media handles to speak for you.
Yeah.
Instead of you having to be in every room, your videos are in every room.
Right.
So I didn't start to create content because I wanted to build a personal brand, which a lot of people do right now, which is like completely fair and you should do it. But if you just have something to say, if you have a lot of opinions, if you can speak well, you look decent, dude, like the sky's the limit for you. Like the sky's the limit for you because you can use your unique and unfair advantages to your advantage and position yourself as somebody different. As in a crowd of everybody trying to be the same person, you can be somebody different and you can really stand out and you can really build a good following for yourself, and then opportunities like this happen.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that like you don't have to invest in some crazy equipment or any of that, right? You pulled out your phone.
Yeah.
I think the scariest part was the first video, I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that scares most people.
Yeah.
And like I'm nowhere, like I started like 3 months back and for me, like I thought a lot when I was uploading my first video. And I was just like, I will look cringe. There is no way I'm going to get out of this without looking cringe.
Exactly. So
But
like,
eventually I'll get better. So that's what my hope has been.
it's like learning how to walk. It's like learning how to
Yeah.
talk. It's like learning how to eat. You're gonna be bad at it, man. It's like
Yeah.
any other skill, dude. So I think people take it too seriously. And okay, you're cringe, but confidence is on the other side of cringe.
Right.
And I just think people need to eliminate the words cringe, corny, embarrassing from their dictionary, bro.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it pays to be embarrassing. It pays to be corny. It pays to be cringe, man. The reason I'm here, the reason I was able to live the life that I lived in the past year and a half was because I was cringe. So,
Yeah.
take it for what it is.
I mean, it's so unconventional that you graduate from NYU and then you're like, I want to do a finance degree or like go into consulting, any of that stuff. And then you change your mind. You're doing content creation.
Yeah.
You take a big leap of faith.
Exactly.
Right? It's risky. And the fact that you tell your parents, like I grew up in an Indian household as well. My parents are very progressive.
Right.
But if I were to tell them that I just graduated and I want to do this as a full-time thing, they would freak out.
So what was interesting was I hadn't graduated then. I still had a semester to go.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just going to figure it out. And then in that semester, that last semester, I was building a startup, another startup, not Rome, with like my 2 roommates, which we never ended up doing anything with because we didn't know what we were doing. But I definitely like really value that experience because it taught me what it's like to build something technical and how I probably wouldn't do it again because it's hard and I don't have the technical background for it. And it taught me a lot of things, but it wasn't like I graduated and then I'm like, oh no, I'm just going to start creating content and see what happens. Like when I graduated, I had 6,000 followers.
Okay.
It wasn't like nothing. And I had gone viral like more than like 20 times.
Okay.
Like when I say viral, like more than 100,000 views on my reels. And so I was getting a lot of attention. A lot of people were reaching out to me for like other stuff too. So I wouldn't, like to your point about it being risky, I think for me, I was like trying to embody more of a long-term vision for my life. And if I had chosen the corporate route, I think that would have been riskier for me because that would have mean I would hate myself every day.
Okay.
And I don't want to hate myself every day, like everybody else. So for me, the bigger risk was to continue applying to jobs and not having nothing work out for me. And like content just seemed like, dude, I'm good at this. Like I actually have a voice and people are actually getting help by what I'm saying. So I found a lot of meaning in content. Like that was the main thing for me. I was like, I can see my videos helping people. I can see that I'm gaining more trust and more recognition and whatnot, right? So I'm like, bro, let's just do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Also, I come from a kind of a pretty privileged background, I would say.
Right.
I went to NYU, like that's pretty privileged already. Like, I didn't have to take any student loans because like I was fortunate enough that my parents were able to cover the cost of my education. My worst case scenario, like this is what I tell myself and this is what I tell people, is when you think something is risky, evaluate your worst case scenario.
Right.
If your worst case scenario, and when you're young, super young, if your worst case scenario isn't death, prison time, bankruptcy, complete loss of reputation, homelessness, you're fine. Like, it's fine. It's not that risky.
And when you put it like that, you can do a lot more with your life.
Exactly. And the thing about failing at a young age is you can restart
Right.
at any point and nobody cares. That's the thing I realized. Nobody cares, dude. Like most of your friends won't care, most of your family won't care, and it will hurt. It will hurt. And every creator goes through this. But you just realize that you will find so many incredible people online who will support you, and you will also realize that if your parents care for you, if your girlfriend or boyfriend cares for you, that's all you need, dude. That's all you need. And for me, it took a while for me to rewire my reward system from like the algorithm caring for me and my loved ones caring for me. But definitely like that journey of like me realizing that was important for me to go through. So yeah, coming back to like risk, I don't think most things that people think are risky are not that risky.
Right.
If you think, nobody's asking you to quit your job and create content on the side, dude. Work a little harder.
Right.
Get up an hour earlier and just create content, like write for a bit, or like work on the weekends, or work your 6 to 9 or whatever. Like this, another saying that I like is that somebody out there who is worse off doing better than you. And I'm like, that's so true, bro. Like there's people out there hustling way harder than I am, way harder. And so that inspires me. So I was like, what's the worst that could happen? I'll have to move back to Dubai, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to move back to fucking Dubai. Come on, like what are we talking about here, man? That's not that bad of a thing.
Right.
I'll figure it out in Dubai, or what? I'll get a master's, bro. It's okay. Like what's the big deal? So, and what I don't think people realize is when you do something unconventional, there's such few people doing unconventional things that it is so easy for you to stand out.
Right.
Because if you are just consistent enough for long enough, you are going to be exceptional in the eyes of other people, even if you're not exceptional in your own eyes.
Right.
And that's all there is. Like, just do something unconventional, whether it's creating content or learning like an unconventional skill, or I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do that you're passionate about, do that and do it for long enough, dude, your life will change.
No, that's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
It's amazing that, I mean, you have all these thoughts.
I have too many
you,
thoughts.
You have a lot of self-introspection that keeps going, and it's really nice to see that.
Thank you.
Now, I think it's all good when you graduate with a degree from NYU, but you graduated with a degree in bachelor's in finance and?
Economics and data science.
Sorry, economics and data science.
Yeah.
How did you get into content creation on your visa, dude?
Yeah, dude. So I love this. So every time I searched up online, can you create content for a living on F1 OPT or H1B? Everyone's like, no, you can't do it. It's against the laws and stuff. And I'm like, bro, we're in 2025. What are we talking about here? I looked at the laws and they were made in like the 90s. They're so outdated. If you read the OPT laws and the STEM OPT laws, it's like 3-4 bullet points. And on OPT, you can pretty much do anything. And on STEM OPT, there's a few like restrictions. You have to get paid. You have to work for an e-verified employer, 20 hours a week, all of this stuff. So the way I made it work for myself is my co-founder approached me with the idea of Rome, like basically a few days before I was graduating. And so that worked out pretty well for me.
And just like to tell everyone else, that happened because you were making content.
Exactly. And that happened because I was making content for 7 or 8 months with like $0 in pay.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't doing brand deals. I wasn't like earning affiliate income or anything like that. So because I would have also been illegal.
Yeah.
So what worked out for me was because I had the skill of content, I could use it to distribute my company's products or my company's offerings, right? And right now, if you're a good content creator, you're very valuable because you have the power of distribution. You have the power of getting in front of people. You have the power of engaging their attention. And we live in the attention economy. So the more attention you can capture, the more money you can make theoretically. And there's caveats to that, but I think that's a general good rule of thumb. So I was able to use my skill of content to create content for Rome on the Rome brand, Rome.college, which kind of was working like a second personal brand for me because it was super niche content, like international student in the US specific. It's not just international student, it's international student in the US specific. And so I was very intentional about that. And my whole philosophy was that I'm just going to provide as much free value as possible and get the Rome name out there. And then people will start to see, okay, what are these people doing? Like, what is this website? What is this marketplace? That was the whole philosophy. I don't know how well it worked, but I think it worked to a certain extent. Like we had like 35,000 followers right now, and like we did a bunch of other stuff too. But so yeah, I was basically I used my OPT to work for Rome, which was is a C Corp, yeah, dude, it's pretty simple. Like when you're telling NYU where you're working, you just have to fill out a simple form. You have to give them your company's EIN, which is an employee identification number, your company name, and 1,000 characters of what your role is about. That's it. And they approve your I-20. There's nobody who's like, oh, kya kar raha hai ye banda? What is he doing? Nobody cares, dude. So,
and this is legal.
This is legal, dude.
Yeah.
Because, dude, we live in 2025. The world has changed. If you want to be good at marketing, you need to get on content.
Yeah.
You need to be on social media. You need to understand how the algorithm works, either short form or long form. So I understood how the algorithm works and I understood what people wanted because I went through that experience as an international student in the US. So I was basically like, my whole thing was I'm talking to my younger self. So a lot of the videos I make, I'm like, I'm talking to my younger self. What would my younger self want to know, right? So yeah, I was just able to use my OPT to work for the company and my role involved creating content. That was like my primary responsibility. It wasn't my only responsibility. I was also in a leadership role. So I was responsible for hiring people, setting up a lot of systems. I was responsible for helping fundraise. I created a newsletter.
You were the chief growth officer.
I was the chief growth officer. So it wasn't just like, oh, I'm the content creator.
Right.
You know, like it was more than that. And so you can play around with your words when you're writing your description, your 1,000-word description. and make it more related to your field of study, because that's another requirement they have. Like on OPT, it needs to be related to your field of study. And so I'm like, how am I going to relate this to econ and data science? I think it was pretty easy for me because chief growth officer, what do we talk about in economics? Growth. I'm using a lot of data as well to track like, what content works or not. So my data science degree gets roped in there. So I just wrote some stuff and I got approved and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very simple now that you've broken it down, but to someone graduating and it's like I get a degree in economics and data science.
Yeah.
I can't be creating content, man. Yeah. I can't do that.
Yeah, I know. It's very interesting because I was fortunate or not fortunate. I just worked on my skill of writing. So like I said, like writing is super important in content. If you don't write properly, nobody's going to watch your stuff because you're boring. I was always interested in cameras. I wanted to go to film school when I was in like 10th grade. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like the dots start to connect.
I mean, you landed pretty close to a very good film school.
Yeah, so I created my own. And I also ended up creating my own production, like in my own in my house, in my room. I have like my light, not as fancy as this, but I have like my light, I have my camera, I have my mic. So I just want to say to international students in the US, think outside the box. Just think outside the box. Don't be afraid to be different. If you don't like going to job fairs and doing all the bogus networking, blah blah, don't do it, man. Like I'm an introvert, okay, so I didn't like going to networking events. Like I went to like 2 or 3 networking conferences this year, and that was like the first time I actually went to a networking conference in the US. And the reason for it is because I just didn't like networking, like in the traditional sense. So my way of networking was to create content, because the entire idea behind networking is more people need to know you, so you can attract more opportunities, right? And content is like is the best way to do that right now.
It's your resume now.
It's your resume, right? Like, what do people look at? They look at your LinkedIn, what's he doing on Instagram, and they judge you, dude. I judge people. Like when I was hiring people for Rome, I was judging their Instagram. If you had like some weird ass like dancing videos on Instagram, dude, I literally rejected somebody because I'm like, bro, what are you putting out there right now? Just like, it's embarrassing.
I mean, you're talking about extremes, right?
I shouldn't use the word embarrassing, but like how you present yourself online is important.
Right.
Is what I want to tell people. Yeah, and I think it can really get you to places that you never thought you would get to.
Exactly.
Like here.
I got to you got to Rome.
Yeah,
so many
exactly.
things.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Ansh, what's next?
So, I've been talking a lot about Rome, but I have left Rome. It has happened like 2-3 weeks ago. I'm moving back to Dubai. I'm leaving the US, and I'm going to be starting online fitness coaching. Excuse me.
Wow.
I'm going to be starting online fitness coaching, and I'm going to use my skill of content and email marketing and my skill of getting lean and pretty jacked to teach other people how to get lean and pretty jacked and become the best versions of themselves.
That's like another big pivot again.
It is a huge pivot.
Yeah.
I'm a bit crazy.
It's like you came to NYU, you had the conventional degree, pivot, content.
Yeah.
Now you're going to use that content, and you did Rome, and now again pivot. You're using the content for fitness. But the advantage that I think everyone should see is that the content part stuck around.
Exactly.
It helped you do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's my force multiplier.
Yeah.
One thing I would love to talk about is leverage.
Yeah.
The reason most international students in the US don't get the opportunities they think they deserve is because they have no leverage.
Right.
Now, what is leverage, right? The leverage is basically you do one thing, but you put in 1 unit of you put in 1 unit, but you get 10 units out of it. It's like you can do more with less, basically. And how do you create leverage? You create leverage through 4 forms. And this is not my idea. This is Naval Ravikant's idea.
I love that guy.
I love that guy too, dude. It's through code, collaboration, content, and capital. So code is like, you can create something and put it on the internet and it works for you without you having to take care of it really. Collaboration is if you can get together with people and get to know them and you can use their skills to do, and they can work for you or you can work for them. That's leverage too. Or capital, you get money and you can start a business, or you can invest in other businesses, or you can ask for a loan from somebody. That's leverage too. And the 4th thing is content, which is something that I really love. And that's just using videos or written text as well. Like like 15 minutes of your time can make your video reach like 2 million people, 3 million people at times. And that's just insane to think about.
Yeah.
Right? So more like people need to have more leverage, just more leverage. the more leverage you have, the more money you can make. The more control you have over your time, the more likely you are to not be billed by the hour. Because a lot of people are billed by the hour, right? And you don't want to be billed by the hour because that sacrifices your freedom. And I want to talk a little bit more about freedom as well. The reason I want to do online fitness coaching, the reason I said no to corporate culture, the reason I started building this startup was because I just wanted to be free, dude.
Right.
At the core of it, I just want to be free.
Yeah.
And I think every human aspires for that. Fundamentally, that's why we work for, right? Why do we earn so much money? Because we want to be free. Why do we work so hard? Because we want to be free. So I'm just trying to look for ways I can be free without sacrificing my humanity.
Right.
And without sacrificing my health and my time and my quality time in my relationships, while still finding ways to make money and support myself. So that's like my entire thought process. So yeah, like coming back to leverage, if you're like 18, 19 years old right now, create content of some sort. You know, if you don't have to create video content, because I understand, you know, it takes a bit of time to get to that level, but create content on LinkedIn, dude. Like just post something on LinkedIn, anything, and people will reach out to you.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is a pretty crazy place to network, and I used to hate on LinkedIn, and I'm saying this. Post content on LinkedIn. If you like writing essays, if you like writing longer stuff, start a newsletter. You know, even if you have like 10 readers, just start writing. Just do something beyond your university life.
Yeah.
Don't be so stuck up in your university life, I would say. And having leverage will really help because it compounds, and people who you would have never anticipated will know you and will invite you to things and will want to talk to you. And it's just, it's unbelievable.
That's a lot to think about, man.
It really is, bro. Yeah.
I don't know what happens inside that head. It's thought a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, man. And
course.
is there any advice you want to leave for Indian students coming to the US? Beyond what you've just said.
Don't be afraid to be different. In fact, being different is applauded here. You don't have to follow the paths that were written for you by your seniors. You can create your own path. And I think that's a lot of fun. Don't take yourself so seriously that you don't have fun. And just maximize your potential.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Next time I want to have you as the fitness guru. I want a lot of advice for people. Like the Indian body type needs a lot of advice
For sure.
for someone who has achieved that with an Indian body type.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Of course, man.
We
Thank
will
you
do
for
this
having
again.
me. Hell
And
yeah.
good luck with everything else.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that was fun, right?
That was fun, dude. Yeah.
Interesting.